Hello everyone, this is Neha Tulsyan from Crescent Creation. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is part of Carrie Rhodes' 5k subscribers celebration here on YouTube. And I'm helping her celebrate by casing one of her cards that she made few months back. She always makes such cute and amazing projects. And I'm just trying to case one of her techniques. She created this beautiful marbled effect background for her coffee cups, which I just loved and I had to try that technique. So let's get started. I've already stamped and die cut my images off camera, and now I'm coloring all the images using Copic markers. All the images are from the Snowbody stamp set from HoneyBee stamps, and I've stamped them all using Blackout Ink from Inkon3. All the Copic markers used are listed on the top right of the screen. From dark to light shade, I usually like to color my images from dark to light, starting from the darkest shade, adding shadows to the folds and areas where I think it's gonna be dark. Next, I bring in my medium color to blend that darker color, and then bring in the lightest color and blend the rest of it. Here I'm using the tip to tip technique to blend my V06 with V01. There's a bit of gap between V06 and V01, and when I don't have an in-between color, I prefer using the tip to tip technique to blend the colors. I usually like to color my images twice to get a better blend, but sometimes the images are too small, like the scarf of the rabbit here, which I colored just once. And you will see me jumping between the images here. I prefer coloring this way. Since I have all my V markers out, I'll color the images that I want to be purple with them and then switch to a different color. So here you can see me, I colored the gift box once. Now I'm going back with all my markers and adding a second layer, which really brings out the colors and help in blending the colors better. Again, you can see I'm using the tip to tip technique to blend the V06 with my V01 marker. I'm just touching the tips of my V01, which is my lightest marker, with the tips of the V06 marker for a few seconds for the color to get transferred, and then I'm just blending the color to get a better blend between V06 and V01. Now for the hat of the snowman, I'm trying to create that texture on that white area on the hat using my warm gray markers. There are a lot of different ways to do this. You can either just leave it white, because usually it is white, or you can use a snow marker to create that nice snowy effect on it. But I really wanted to try this warm markers and create that texture with the colors itself. And I'm really glad I did, because I am in love with the result. Now for my bunny, I am using RV02 marker to add color to the inside of his ears and a little bit to his cheeks. And I wanted to color this bunny white, but I didn't want to leave him just completely white. So I'm using my warm gray markers again to add color to areas where there will be natural folds, to add dimension and depth to the image. Now for my snowman scarf, I'm using RV markers. I'm starting with my RV09, which is my darkest color. The top folded scarf will be casting shadow on the bottom one. So added darkest color to those corners, blended it with my medium color, which is RV06. And lastly, using my RV02 marker, which is my lightest color, blended the medium color and filled in the rest of the image. Here you can see me adding the second layer of color, repeating the same steps to get a better blend. Now I'm using my white gel pen to add some details to few of these images. For my scarf here, I'm adding few dots, big and small, to create polka dot effect all over the scarf. I like to add these to make these accessories that the critters wear look a little different. Adding some white stripes to my bunny's scarf and some polka dots to the purple gift box. You can see this adds a nice texture to these images and immediately makes them a little more interesting. Here, finishing the coloring of the gift box using the same RV markers. For my snowman, I didn't want to add a lot of color to him. I wanted to keep it mostly white, so I started with the B00 marker. Since it's facing right, I kept the shadows towards the left. Next, blending the B00 using the B000 marker. Lastly, coming in with my colorless blender to push that color a little bit back and get a nice blend all over. For the nose of my snowman, I'm using YR07 as my darkest color, YR16 for my medium color, and YR15 for the lightest color. And here by mistake, I dropped my YR15 marker and it landed on my snowman. I didn't want to start over, so here I'm using my colorless blender to push that color out as much as I can. You can still see that little bit of orange color in my finished project, but it does not really bother me. I think snowman can get dirty, right? Now for the fun part. Carrie used shaving cream to create that beautiful marbled effect background, and I'm doing the same. I have some shaving cream on a plastic plate here, and I added few drops of vintage photo distress ink from the Reinker bottle. Mixed it a little bit using the back of the fork, and now I am bringing in my cardstock and just pushing the cardstock into the shaving cream. Once I have a good amount of shaving cream on there, I'm scraping off all that shaving cream using my stencil pal from Thermoweb. And look at that beautiful background that you get. It's just yummy and gorgeous. I felt like I want to eat it. Now let's move to die cutting. For my coffee cup shaped card, I'm using Frappe Shake card die from HoneyBee stamps. You'll get all the dies necessary to create a beautiful coffee cup shaped card. I used a white heavyweight cardstock to create a card base here. And now I'm folding it in half using the score lines that the die provide. And just like that, my coffee cup shaped card base is ready. I also die cut 2 of these cups from one of the dies in the set, and I'll use one of these to create my background by doing some ink blending. I'm using Blueprint Sketch and Tumbled Glass Distress Oxide inks here to create my winter sky. At the bottom is my water media matte from Waffle Flowers, which I love for all the ink blending, and I'm using blending brush from Simon Says Stamp to do all my ink blending. And I'm using just one blending brush for both of these colors. As both of these colors are from the same color family, I can just use one brush. Just switching between colors, use a cloth or paper towel to wipe off the excess color. Now to add texture to the sky, I'm spraying some water using my distress sprayer and blotting it dry using my paper towel. Now using my second paper cup that I die cut earlier, I'm creating 2 snow hills. I'm using my scissors to fuzzy cut 2 hills using my snowman as the guide to see how tall I want the snow hills to be. Once happy with the hills, I'll use my blending brushes that I use for my Distress Oxide inks, and whatever is left in those brushes, I'll add color to the hills. So I'm using my purple blending brush and the blue blending brush to add that purplish bluish color to the snow hills. And now I'll start adhering everything to create my scene. I'll glue everything flat to my card base using a combination of ATG tape and liquid glue. Now stamping those dots that the snowman have on its body. I did stamp it earlier, but it was hidden behind the scarf, so I had to stamp it again using my black ink. Using C3 and C00 marker and adding some shadows beneath the bunny and the gift bag. Now that my scene is ready, I'll adhere everything to the card base, adding a little bit of blue color to the straw. Using double-sided tape to glue down the front panel to the card base. I die cut the whipped cream from the marbled background that we created earlier. Usually whipped creams are white, but I created my custom whipped cream here with chocolate in it. Yummy, right? For the inside of my card, I stamped the sentiment "More coffee please" from the blah 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 stamp set from HoneyBee Stamps. I'm going to add a Starbucks gift card to this card, and I thought this sentiment is just perfect. Gluing down the gift boxes using some liquid glue and using my cool grey markers C3 and C00 to add ground to these gift boxes. To finish off this card, adding some snowflakes to the background You can find these in my Etsy store, Craft Supplies by CC. So this was my project for today, casing one of Carrie's card. Congratulations Carrie on your 5k subscribers and many more. Visit Carrie's channel, link in the description box below, to see what others have created. And also there are a lot of sponsors for this hop, so do not miss it. Here are a few more videos that you might like to watch. Thank you for visiting. Have a nice day.